Friends, in this video for iThought Wealth, I'm going to talk to you on the topic IPO speculation. So what has changed? I was looking back at IPO speculation. From my experience, there always has been IPO speculation. The thing is, when there's euphoria in the market, when market participation increases, when retail participation is at a high, this euphoria tends to go towards a blowout. So the speculation keeps changing, shifting according to the sentiments of the market, according to participation. There's another thing that has directly impacted speculation, and that is the cycle time of an IPO, the time from the opening date to the date in which the shares hit your account. That has shrunk significantly over the last few decades. In fact, it is said to shrink even further. So what this shrinkage in the cycle time of an IPO has done is it has attracted different stakeholders into IPO speculation. First, lenders. If you are going to give a loan for a short term and you're going to get a higher return with a reasonable certainty of recovering the money, then you're going to be drawn into that business, right? Most people feel gold loans are safe and secure for that very reason. IPO loans seem to have got a very similar reputation. So, we are seeing that the loan market has expanded significantly, and that has created a huge section of people who depend on loans to invest in IPOs. Most of these are HNIs. So what do? They fund for that short period of the IPO cycle. They apply for more shares than they actually can physically buy, and given that the IPO runs like a lottery, they get a small fraction as an allotment. The interest is paid on the entire loan amount, and that interest as an absolute sum is amortized over their allotted shares. It tends to increase the cost of their shares which they get. Naturally, the cost of shares for somebody who applies in an IPO with a loan is higher than the cost of shares for somebody who applies with his own money. This is where the speculation takes two different behavioral approaches. Somebody who buys the stock with his own money is not under that much pressure to sell those shares. But the guy who has borrowed wants to make some money out of that on listing day. So, if an IPO is subscribed more than what investors expect it to be, that cost goes up. And on the listing day, the price at which the stock lists may or may not be above the cost of ownership of somebody who has invested in the IPO with a loan. Naturally, when it falls below his cost of ownership, there is a tendency to sell out and go to another IPO. We all know the supply of IPO is having a robust pipeline, and it's not difficult to find the next idea. So people just take a chance, borrow money, invest in an IPO, they get shares allotted, they know that the cost of allotment of shares is higher than the issue price, and they try and find a premium in listing over their cost of allotment. This is clearly enabled by the recent changes which have shortened the life cycle of an IPO. The time from the date it opens to the time the shares hit your bank account and get listed. All this happens very seamlessly. So, people see little or no risk in applying for IPOs with borrowed money. The entire HNI category is dominated by loan funded applications. So, they are the guys who take the lion's share of allotment. Naturally, the fact that so much credit is available in an IPO is drawing more people towards that market than even to the secondary market, because everybody wants to make more money with other people's money. So this other people's money game has become the core of the IPO process today. But at every point in a market cycle, you get one very, very large IPO which lists below the issue price. Now, just imagine the plight of all those who have borrowed money, taken a loan and applied. Their cost of ownership is going to be significantly higher than the issue price, and when the share lists below the issue price, all hell break loose. That is something that can happen anytime, and that is something that has happened before and will happen again. So that is something which spooks the IPO speculation party once and for all, and investors take a very long time to recover from that. One thing which the IPO speculation is doing is that it's putting the retail investor who invests with his own money at a significant disadvantage, because there are a lot of people who take funding even to invest in that retail portion. This is something that we did not have earlier, but today the availability of different forms of unsecured credit is encouraging people to borrow money and invest in IPO even in the retail quota. So there is one set of speculation, the retail quota, where people borrow below the 2 lakhs and invest. Then you have the HNI speculation, where people get big loans from finance companies to invest in the IPO. And lastly, we have the QIB segment also, where there is a lot of speculation, because mutual funds and other QIBs think that it's a good idea to invest in an IPO using their cash, which is lying idle, and selling on listing so that they can make some money. But the QIB needs to wait if he gets a confirmed allotment. So he needs to wait for a month. But even then, they believe that the trade is worth it, because they always have some money which they're holding as cash, which they can also put into speculation. So different sections of investors, different categories of allotment, but everything has speculation, and that speculation is fueling participation like never before. Everybody who has opened a Demat account wants to apply in an IPO, participate in that lottery and try to hit the jackpot. Clearly, other people's money is influencing how we invest and how we create wealth, and that in turn will also affect us when that money is not available or we are not able to service that money. That is when IPO speculation party ends, and that is when everybody feels spooked. As of now, we are still looking to be some distance away from that place. It's still early days, and we are seeing people enjoy the fun of speculation, and let's not spoil that party for now. If you like this video, I would request you to share this video with your friends who are very actively speculating in IPOs and who are part of that party. Do stay the course with us. Thank you.